Now, the Springboks and the All Blacks are eyeing a historic win as they gear up for the 2023 Rugby World Cup final. Both sides tied at 3 World Championships apiece, with the winner said to be capturing an unprecedented, a historic 4th men's 15s world title. South Africa yet to lose in a World Cup final, with New Zealand having only lost once in their history, and that was to who? South Africa in 1995. Right. Let's talk about tomorrow's match, but let's also look back at the history of Rugby World Cup finals. For more on it, we are joined by former Springbok assistant coach, Coach Dick Muir. A very good morning to you, Coach Dick Muir. Thank you so much for making the time. I can only but imagine where your anxiety, excitement, or even fear is sitting at the moment as you look ahead to a team that you once coached, assistant though, but still coached, to success. We are now sitting on the cusp of history. Does this team, looking at it as a coach, do you think this team has what it takes to do what South Africa, all 62 million of us, are anticipating?
Good morning to you and all the viewers. I must say that, it doesn't get more exciting than this, where South Africa play against New Zealand in the final. So I've got to say that, things, if you look at the history, we've beaten them once in the finals. In the 95 final, it was we had an English referee. We've got an English referee this time. So hopefully all things pan out the way that we hope it will.
You're looking at this 23-man squad, Coach Dick Muir, and you're looking at a 7-1 split. You're looking at the most experienced Springbok team to go into a World Cup final in history. Do you put your money on this team beating the All Blacks?
Yeah, it's a very interesting selection. The 7-1 for me is we're taking a little bit of risk. But if you have a look at the warm-up game, obviously that worked out very nicely for us. So I think that we've got a hugely experienced team. And I think the difference between the two teams will be what the bench brings. So, this team is well prepared, very experienced, as I said, and I do believe we have what it takes to go one up on them to a 4-3 advantage.
You see, Coach, when we talk about what the bench brings, usually the bench is what comes off in the second half to try and bring that impact, tired legs, a different perspective, a different strategy. But when you're playing the All Blacks, you can't afford to only rectify your wrongs in the second half. You need to be hitting the All Blacks from the first whistle. So is it perhaps not a worry that we're thinking rescue the game from perhaps 50 minutes onwards, as opposed to hit them hard from the first whistle?
Well, we've started poorly in this in the World Cup. We haven't hit our straps right from the start. So hopefully in this game we're going to start well and just maintain that. But I really do believe that the difference between the two teams would be the bench coming on. So let's just wait and see what happens.
Does Handré Pollard have 80 minutes in his legs, Coach?
Most definitely. Handré Pollard is an experienced campaigner. He just showed the difference, the calmness that he brought to the team, not taking away the great World Cup that Manie Libbok has had. I think he's laid a good foundation for us. And, for Handré now, it's just to build on what has been laid before him.
So we won against England because Oxenche came off the bench and he did what many people had never anticipated. A lot of people didn't even know of the name Oxenche, but now they do. So essentially we've got those pockets of brilliance when we need them to excel. Where do we win it now? Who comes off the bench and seals it for us? Trevor Nyakane, Oxenche, Jean Klein, of course, he's just only but joined the Springbok team and he's on the cusp of winning a World Cup. Do we maybe look at Kwagga Smith? Does Willie Leroux, as the only back on the replacements bench, come in and change the game for us? Who do we rely on? Or is this going to have to be a team effort and not a one-man brilliance?
Yeah, I most definitely believe that this is going to be a team effort. This is in fact going to need the management, the team, the referee, the bounce of the ball. We're needing everything to go our way. So this is a great All Black team that we're going to be up against. and we need all the stars to be aligned. So I think the difference is probably the support that's coming from back home. It seems to be huge, and it doesn't get bigger than this. So, good luck to our Bokke, and I can't wait to watch this game.
We have two head coaches who are going into a World Cup final, and this will be the very last match that both of them are in charge of the teams that they are running. I talk of Jacques Nienaber, who's going to be leaving us to go join Leinster in Ireland. I talk of Ian Foster, who's going to be replaced by Scott Robertson at the end of this World Cup. What do you make of Jacques Nienaber and Ian Foster's 10 years as the head coaches of the two most successful teams in world rugby?
Well, we can't say enough about how well Jacques and Rossi have done with this team. It's incredible what they've been able to achieve. And for us to be able to be on the cusp of going back-to-back against the All Blacks is going to be unbelievable. So I think we need to pay tribute to how well the coaching team have done. And best of luck to everybody over there, and I can't wait to see what the outcome is.
Have you been impressed by what Ian Foster's done with the All Blacks, considering that he almost lost his job last year?
Yeah, I think you're going to see a brand new look in the All Black side when the changes happen on that side. So I don't believe he's done as well as what was expected of him. But to be in the World Cup final, and if they could pull it off, then he would have been really successful. But if he doesn't, I think it would everybody would reflect on it as being a little bit of a failure.
Coach, just before I let you go, there was that little matter of the Weitkant. That has been dominating the headlines of not even just world rugby, but world sport. What Bongi Mbonambi actually had said to Tom Curry. World Rugby coming out yesterday morning to say that insufficient evidence to charge Bongi Mbonambi. This case is now deemed closed. England Rugby coming out to say that Tom Curry was not given an opportunity to voice his, frustration and what he felt was an offence to him, and what exactly it is was said to him by Bongi Mbonambi. What are your thoughts, Coach, on what happened between Bongi and Tom Curry, what's been happening between World Rugby, England Rugby and SA Rugby? Do you feel that World Rugby handled the matter as they were supposed to as a world governing body?
Well, I can't really comment on that particular incident, but the nature of rugby and what differentiates rugby from other sports is that you have a full go at each other on the field, whether there is a little bit of banter or not. But when the final whistle blows, you shake hands, you go into the change room, you have a drink together, and the next time you compete, you see who gets the upper edge. So, I don't believe that something like this should be dragged out and dealt with the way it's been dealt with. I think racism should stay away from sport. And I think we should just keep rugby the way it is, and sport in that matter.
And I think a lot of South Africans, Coach, will agree with you that, racism has no place in sport, and that we can only but hope that Bongi Mbonambi, in fact, did not, direct a racial slur towards Tom Curry. But World Rugby feel that there was insufficient evidence with every footage, audio, everything that it is they looked at in terms of their investigation and review of that incident, that it did not happen. But we can only but hope that this game stays clean. Coach Dick Muir, thank you so much for joining us. It is an absolute pleasure. I can only but hope that you've got all of your medication and whatever it is you need to make sure that you keep your heart palpitations at a low. Tomorrow is going to be heavy, Coach, so I can only but hope you've got what it is you need to make sure that you survive tomorrow's game. But thank you so much. That is, of course, former assistant coach Dick Muir of the Springboks. He is calm right now, but that man is not going to be calm come 11 o'clock tomorrow night, as will 62 million South Africans are not going to be calm. It'll either be no, I'm not entertaining that other idea. It'll be cheers.
It'll be cheers.
It won't be tears, it'll be cheers.
It won't be tears, it will be cheers. I love how present you are, that you are minding your thoughts and minding your words.
Yes.
That's the way to do it.
My tongue is powerful, and the power I need to use my tongue with must be for positivity.
Come on,
so we are not going to drape our studio in Springbok colours and we speak negativity
Come
into
on,
so yes. Today there's a semi-final,
Sure.
rather a Oh, that other match. It is a
It's the
bronze
wooden
medal
spoon.
match.
It's the third-
It is
third
almost.
place
It is a
wooden spoon.
curtain raiser. England taking on, of course, Argentina in the bronze medal match. They are curtain raising the biggest match in sports history. I think one would say it's fair enough to say that what's going to happen tomorrow in France is the biggest match in sports history. History will be made tomorrow, where South Africa will be lifting this title with Siya Kolisi and Cyril Ramaphosa on that podium together with the Webb Ellis Trophy in their hands.
Wow.
So, yes, we need to only but talk that.
Yeah, and at least there'll be a consolation prize for the English. There's an expectation they're going to beat Argentina tonight. And it's good news for the English. At least they made it to the final. The referee is there,
Exactly.
Wayne Barnes.
And why is that
there.
important? Why is that such an important match with England?
Because, I mean, you know, it is a bronze medal match. It's an important match. They're in there, and we're talking, as Gareth did, about having a referee that is English in the final. It's an important match because we need to know who is the third best team in the world.
It's about the rankings.
It's about the rankings.
Okay.
But also, in every competition, you do have a third place playoff. So in football, you'll have it too, where you have a bronze medal match. So rugby also, cricket is going to potentially have that as well with the Cricket World Cup now in the middle of November. So it's an important match, but for them, because they are there, we are not there. It's important for England in the final because they've got Wayne Barnes who's officiating. And I need South Africa to not worry. Wayne Barnes is not going to officiate badly against us. He is the best referee available. If it was not him, it would have to be Ben O'Keefe. He's New Zealand. If it was not Ben O'Keefe, it would have to be Jaco Peyper. He's South African. So we needed to get an impartial referee of the highest quality. Wayne Barnes is the best referee in the world right now that can officiate the biggest match in history. He actually was supposed to be taking over the World Cup final 4 years ago, but the anticipation was the Springboks were going to face the All Blacks 4 years ago. Instead, the Springboks faced who? England.
Exactly.
And he is English.
Yeah, and even if you just do a quick Google of Wayne Barnes, as we say goodbye for this hour, there isn't actually much criticism of him. But we'll unpack this, I think, in the next couple of minutes, as well as we head up very quickly to 8 o'clock.